Welcome to today's webinar. Today's webinar is very important part of criminal law, that is plea of alibi. इसको कुछ लोग alibi भी बोलते हैं, but the correct pronunciation is plea of alibi. Now, alibi ये word Latin word है. इसका मतलब होता है कि somewhere else, not here. Now in criminal law, whenever a crime is committed, the accused is arrested, and some of the accused in the criminal law, they take the plea of alibi. When they take the plea of alibi, they mean to say, I was not there at the scene of offense. Let's take it by one example. Suppose a crime is committed in Mumbai and the doubt is taken on Mr. X. And when he is called by the police station and is arrested, if it is a murder case, he will take a plea of alibi with the saying that I was not here, I was at Calcutta or Delhi, somewhere. He will tell some other place. Then he has to, of course, give a proof that he was not there. Now, this happens only when you have the concrete proof, and you can certainly say that I was not available here, place or country or a state or a city where this scene of offense has taken place. Now, this plea of alibi can be taken at any stage, but earlier you take will be good for you if you are for the accused, and you should have the proper documents for that or proper witnesses for that. We have some judgments in this session which I will discuss, which will show that a plea of alibi normally fails unless and until you are able to take out some good documents. So it can always, it can be spelled out from the prosecution evidence also, but it is not always possible. But normally the burden of proof is lies in under criminal law on the prosecution, because the accused has a right to remain silent. And when the accused has a right to remain silent, and if he is not taking any plea of alibi, it is the duty of the prosecution to prove the case beyond all the reasonable doubt. Now, under section 103 of Indian Evidence Act, you will find the burden of proof. Now, burden of proof is always on the person who says, whether it is civil law, criminal law, the person who says that I want to prove this, or I am saying this fact is true. Now, plea of alibi, you have to go again to the section 11 in the very beginning of the Evidence Act. Facts not otherwise relevant will be relevant. Now, what is relevant in criminal law is that this crime has taken place. Now, this is the person, Mr. X, who has committed the crime. But when he says that I was not at the scene of offense, or I was not in a state or a city where it was committed, that means he is trying to say I was somewhere else. Now, this is a plea of alibi. Now, this fact that he was at otherwise will never be important. That Mr. X was traveling to which place? Or he was at Mumbai, not Mumbai, at that particular place when the offense has taken place in Mumbai. So it will not be relevant, otherwise not relevant, but then it will be relevant. What is relevant in the criminal law? This offense has taken place and who has committed the crime. But when Mr. X was arrested and he says, I was not here, I was at Calcutta or I was at Madras or whatever place, I was at a place from where it is physically impossible to come here. So that fact is now important to this case and relevant to this case. So section 11 and section 103 of Evidence Act is very important for this purpose. Now, as said, as early as you can take plea of alibi, mostly it is taken during investigation, but there are cases when the client is so maybe because the police called him, he is scared, he is under so much doubt whether I should tell the truth or not, or he do not want to open his defense. He or she may not tell where he or she was, because they do not want to tell the police. So there are cases where the plea of alibi is taken under section 313 CRPC when the accused entered into defense. When a statement of the accused is recorded and he says that I want to give defense witness, that time sometime plea of alibi is open. Sometimes it is also opened in the cases where appeal is made. So it is very important that if you take as early as possible, though there are cases where we find a plea of alibi is taken at the time of appeal. Now, from where you can take the material? Normally, the accused supplies the material that he was not at the place of offense. But there is one case of the Lalmani versus state. Now, in this case, this is of a recent case of 2020. In this case, Lalmani, there was no plea of alibi was not taken. But when the matter went before the trial court to the in the appellate court, the court said that the plea of alibi can be taken from the prosecution material as well also. What is material available in the prosecution, and prosecution not able to say or not able to take out concrete evidence that he was available at the scene of offense, then the prosecution has failed, and this plea of alibi can also be taken by the accused. So Lanmani's case, their plea of alibi though failed, because prosecution evidence was not up to the mark, and it was altered. He was already convicted by the trial court and the high court, and later it was whatever punishment he was given, it was given the already undergone punishment. He was allowed to go away, and it was set aside the punishment, and he was already 89 years old, and there was also medical grounds he was allowed to go. But the plea of alibi was taken at a very later stage in this case. But this case is very important, though plea of alibi was not allowed. But it was like from prosecution material also you can prove sometimes the plea of alibi. Now we have one very important case of Suman Nana versus State of Tripura. In this case, the wife's murder was committed, and they were never on good terms. And when the wife murder was committed, it was in a rented premises. So there's all the उसका बोलते हैं ना सुई जो होता है, the needle of suspicion went on the husband, because there was a torture complaint also. Some neighbors and her parents also complained. Now what happened when the matter came before, the husband was arrested and he was charged for murder, but he took a plea of alibi since beginning. Though in the trial court he was convicted, when the matter came before the Tripura High Court, it said that there are witnesses, many witnesses, only one witness is saying that he has seen him at the scene of offense and he was last seen. But there were also his wife was found in drinking habits, and there were one another person who used to come to wife, and she was, there was also allegation of she was living an adulterous life, and somebody used to come in his absence, and he could also give evidence that he was somewhere else through by entering into defense. So he was let off, and plea of alibi though was not given on a very strong, he was a strong foothold, he was also given the benefit of doubt. And see, plea of alibi though was not allowed clearly in this case of Tripura High Court, somewhere the benefit of doubt came together because of the evidence and also because of the plea of alibi. So you have to create a situation as a criminal lawyer from all the angle. And let me tell you, even though you are creating a situation, please try that plea of alibi is taken only when you have got really, you are very certain from the accused material, whatever material the accused supplies to you, that he was actually not at the scene of place. If you are not, if you are were at the scene of place, and if you take a false alibi, plea of alibi, then possibly that same can be used against you, because the court will understand that you are making a false statement before the court. So that is not to be done. So plea of alibi, be careful while taking plea of alibi. Only take it when it is possible. Now, another very important case of Resham Singh versus State. This is of Delhi High Court. Now this case is very interesting. It is like a movie. Here there were dispute between two people over the taxi stand. In this taxi stand, there was also a dispute over the, because of the where I should park my car. The matter was already pending in the lower courts. Now this two accused committed a murder of this one person. When he was murdered, his son was also not there. There was one more witness. He was the author of the affair. Now, when this matter came before the court, that is, the investigation was started, these both accused took the plea of the alibi. They said that we were not at the crime scene of offense, and we were on the same day at the Hoshiarpur in Punjab. Now, just imagine the murder took place at Delhi, and they were saying they were at Hoshiarpur at Punjab. Now, when they were taking this plea of alibi, they produce a proof that they were arrested on the same day in Punjab, in Hoshiarpur, at their village, for committing a small crime, petty crime, that is consuming liquor, and they were making nuisance in the public. So, police arrested, Punjab police arrested them. There was also a medical done, and because it was a petty offense, they paid some fine also of 10 rupees something, and they were let off. So there was total proof. See, there was total proof at Punjab that they were arrested and they were on that particular day not there. Now here at the taxi stand, whatever the scene of offense has happened, it was clearly the first informant gave the names of these two persons. So during investigation, the police found that they were taking giving false evidence or material before the police station and also in the court. So police tried to investigate this matter also in the Punjab, and from there also 5 accused were arrested. The police officer, the medical officer who created this record. So there were total 7 accused. Two were charged for murder, main accused, and other two were charged for section 218 and 120B. 120B is for conspiracy, and this rest 218 is for creating a record of a public servant, a medical officer or police officer creates a record to save somebody from punishment. Now when this is done, these all 7 accused came before the court. When a trial court tried to look into the evidence, then the trial judge very rightly said, if I accept the plea of alibi of the first 2 accused that they were at Punjab, then rest 5 accused also has to be acquitted. But there were some evidence which trial court said no, nothing doing, and trial court convicted. The matter came before the Delhi High Court. When the matter came before the Delhi High Court, very interestingly, the evidence was considered, and in that evidence, 3-4 things came to the court's knowledge. When this murder took place, the first informant who gave the name of 2 assailants, main accused, who were charged under 302 IPC, that person did not support the prosecution. Under 161 CRPC, his statement was recorded before the police. But when it came before the court, he said, no, I have not said any names. So he did not support the prosecution case. Then there was the deceased son who took the deceased person to the hospital, and there he succumbed to the injuries and he was declared dead. There was an inquest report. Inquest report होता है जो लाश के बारे में जो पूरा medical report तैयार किया जाता है. That medical report was not having the assailant's name. Now father has died, and the first informant has informed the son of the deceased that your father has been assaulted by these 2 accused. How come that inquest report did not have the names of the assailants? तो जब इंक्वेस्ट रिपोर्ट में भी उसका नाम नहीं है, मेडिकल रिपोर्ट्स में भी नाम नहीं है, एंड देयर इज ऑलवेज अ डॉक्टर हिस्ट्री. If you whenever you are fighting a case on criminal law, always find out, see the charge sheet and medical report, you'll find a history. It is a rape victim or 419, there is an injury, the doctor will write assault by husband, assault by neighbors. They write a history, medical history little bit, and along with they will also write assault by husband, something. I have seen this in some matters, and why suicide is committed if the person lives by chance. Then they write a small history. In that doctor's report also, their assailants, those who had attacked the person, their names were not there. So Delhi High Court says, looking at all this, that complainant did not support the prosecution case. The son who took the deceased father to the hospital, he also did not say that who has assaulted his father. There were no names, medical report. There were other witnesses, eyewitnesses also unable to say anything. So the plea of alibi was allowed in this particular case. There were 2 appeals. There is one more case of Keval Singh. So total 2 cases, Resham Singh and Keval Singh, Delhi High Court, and this is one of the best case where plea of alibi was allowed, though we may find sometime that it may be true, it may not be true. But then the case always stands. See, criminal case, the law always stands on the evidence, on the proofs. In this case, there was no evidence that these 2 accused were. And then the police organ, the plea of alibi was allowed. Now, there is one more small case of Ramdas Pawar, State of Maharashtra. there can be a question, can the plea of alibi be taken at the stage of the bail application? Now here, before this Ramdas Pawar's case, the plea of alibi was taken in the bail application, but first bail application was rejected. Second bail application came, plea of alibi was also taken, and also from the charge sheet, one statement was shown to the court trial judge itself that the one of the accused, one of the witness was saying that this person was doing Shiv Puja at some place. And he also filed some documents also show that he was actually doing puja at that particular time. And also he filed affidavit, there was a witness statement also in the charge sheet. And also there was a medical report also. So plea of alibi was not during, because of plea of alibi from bail application, you will not be allowed to go away. You will not be discharged from the case, of course, but then it was considered and this matter came before the bail was granted by the trial judge. First bail application was rejected and the same court, same judge granted the second application, plea of alibi, all the cumulative effect, plea of alibi, his medical report and also the charges statement where he was saying, one of the witness was saying that he was doing puja at that particular time and there were also some affidavits filed by him that I was at that time, I was not there. Now with all these documents, he was granted bail. The matter came before the Bombay High Court for cancellation of bail. Cancellation of bail was not allowed. And somewhere plea of alibi was beneficial to this accuser, to this applicant to get the bail. So plea of alibi, if you have some good proof, that is pukta proof, तो आप ले सकते हो. Otherwise, it's very difficult to convince the court. There should be some certitude that you know that really it can help you. Now, today's very important case. I really enjoyed this case of the Supreme Court, Purna and Anodhar versus State of UP, 1983 Supreme Court case. Though it is one of the oldest case, this is all there. Here also plea of alibi was taken, but then it is very systematic case. It's a very long case and long story. I will try to share. This is Supreme Court case, Purna and Anodhar versus State of Uttar Pradesh of 1983. In this case, Hari Babu, he has raised the crop and one day one of his relative came to him and told that there are some people who are cutting his crop. So he came there, he also informed the police, but police did not lodge any FIR. So this person what did he do? He went to the court and he lodged a private case. When he lodged a private case, he showed that they have taken away his crop. So it was a case of dacoity. Now this matter was committed to Court of Session and it was tried on as of course at the dacoity case, but all the 15 people were accused there. They were charged under section 379. And they were given rigorous imprisonment for 2 years. And 2 years were given, all the 15 people. Now this matter came before the Allahabad High Court. During the pendency of appeal, what happened? 3 of the accused died. So appeal got abated against them. Now there were only 13 accused. So what Allahabad High Court said that जो dacoity crop जो stolen हुआ था उसका value only was 500 rupees and offense has taken place some 8 years back. So amount is also very small. So what they did, they reduced the substantive sentence to sentence already undergone, impose a fine of 100. But these two appellants, Purna and Guru Prasad, they were not happy. They said, why should we get convicted when we did not do anything? Now this matter came before the Supreme Court. Now the senior advocate R.K. Garg argued this matter and took a plea of alibi, which was also taken before the High Court and the trial court. He said that both the courts did not consider the plea of alibi. Now when this matter came before Supreme Court ordinarily, as you can see in para 6, this court does not undertake reappraisal of evidence unless failure to do so will lead to miscarriage of justice. With this precaution, we may examine two contentions raised by Mr. Garg in this appeal. See, when for 500 rupees matter, somebody is coming to Supreme Court. Then court said there must be some substance in their appeal and some in their SLP. when the matter came before this court, there was a very interesting thing found by the court, that on the day when the offense has taken place, this is March 11, 1973, it was a Sunday. Now this Purna was working in a power station in some office, in a government office, where his duty was 8 to 5. So if it was Sunday, was he working? But the trial court said that he brought some register. No, he's register brought at the High Court. He brought some witness in the defense witness, and he said that no, I was working that day, and so plea of alibi. I was not in the scene of offense. But trial court and High Court did not consider. Then there was one more witness, Manikant Trivedi. He also brought some register, and he was saying that though it was a Sunday, there was somebody who had actually, some people really also work on Sunday, though it's a government office, people, because it was a power station. And there is an Aurangabad place also, and this Aurangabad is not from Maharashtra, in UP it is. Now, because of this plea of alibi was taken, and these two documents were available with the court, Supreme Court said that plea of alibi is allowed for the Purna, and for the another accused, that is his name was Purna, and just a minute, there was another accused. His name is not with me here now. I'll find out somebody. I think Gyana or something. They said that when he was also, he has fought an election against the Hari Babu. So there was already enmity between the parties. So possibly there is a possibility that he may have lodged a false complaint. And by the time this matter came before Supreme Court, Hari Babu was no more. So this sentence which was awarded to all these accused, and only two have come to the Supreme Court, it was set aside. And still, because there was a loss of 500 rupees, Hari Babu was though no more, his legal heirs were awarded 500 rupees compensation, and it was asked to be deposited at the trial court. So see, though plea of alibi was taken here, what happened? When the matter came before the Supreme Court, plea of alibi though allowed, there was, see, the dacoity was 500 rupees, and the compensation allowed was also 500 rupees. But maybe some reason I found this judgment in a very different level, where plea of alibi though was allowed, somewhere it was compensation was allowed, though their punishment was kept aside. It was not the High Court and the trial court judgment was not upheld, and their punishment was set aside. They were still given some Hari Babu, who has lost his first complaint, is by way of private case. He was asked. He was given some benefit of the by way of compensation. So it's not completely plea of alibi, though it's very nicely discussed in this case. So do read this case. It's one of the beautiful case written by the Supreme Court. So this was all the four cases. Plea of alibi, at the end, I would say it's a burden of proof on the accused. Normally under the criminal law, the burden of proof is on the prosecution, because it is leveling charges against you. But when you go for plea of alibi by yourself, that is, the accused wants to take the plea of alibi, it is his duty, the burden of proof will lie on him. So always remember, when you take plea of alibi, always remember that you have some documents or some witnesses to prove that you were actually not at the scene of offense. Otherwise, it will be futile exercise in criminal law, and the court may form an opinion that you are giving a false evidence before the court. So that will be another case. So that's what all. I'll open the forum for the question.